FAQ on AD faceless assessment, anti-dumping duty, safeguard duty, appeal rules, etc. AD faceless assessment, FAQs, customs. Q1. What is AD in customs? ANS, AD, electronic data interchange, is a computerized system for filing and processing customs documents electronically. Q2. What is faceless assessment? ANS, faceless assessment means assessment of bills of entry is done electronically by officers located anywhere in India without physical interface. Q3. Which authority introduced faceless assessment in customs? ANS, it was introduced by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q4. From when is faceless assessment applicable? ANS, faceless assessment was implemented nationwide from August 2020. Q5. Which documents are assessed under faceless assessment? ANS, bill of entry, invoice, packing list, import licenses, certificates, if any. Q6. Is physical presence of importer required? ANS, no. All assessment is done electronically through the customs AD system. Q7. Which system is used for AD filing? ANS, IceGate, Indian Customs Electronic Gateway. Q8. Can assessment be done by any customs officer? ANS, yes. Assessment is done by officers of a faceless assessment group, FAG, located anywhere in India. Q9. What is the role of the port of import? ANS, the port handles examination, out of charge, and clearance, not assessment. Q10. Can an importer respond to queries online? ANS, yes. Queries are raised and replied to electronically through IceGate. Q11. Is faceless assessment applicable to exports also? ANS, currently, it mainly applies to import bills of entry. Q12. Does faceless assessment reduce corruption? ANS, yes. It reduces physical interaction and increases transparency. Q13. What happens if goods need examination? ANS, examination is done at the port of import as per instructions issued electronically. Q14. Are customs brokers involved in faceless assessment? ANS, yes. Customs brokers file documents and reply to queries on behalf of importers. Q15. What are the benefits of AD faceless assessment? ANS, faster clearance, transparency, uniform assessment, reduced discretion, less physical interface, anti-dumping rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are anti-dumping rules? ANS, anti-dumping rules are regulations to protect Indian industry from cheap imports, dumping that harm domestic manufacturers. Q2. What is dumping? ANS, dumping means exporting goods to another country at a price lower than their normal value in the exporting country. Q13. Which law governs anti-dumping in India? ANS, anti-dumping duties are imposed under Customs Tariff Act, 1975 and related rules. Q4. Which organization conducts anti-dumping investigations? ANS, investigations are conducted by Directorate General of Trade Remedies, DGTR. Q5. Which authority imposes anti-dumping duty? ANS, duty is imposed by the central government on DGTR's recommendation. Q6. What is anti-dumping duty? ANS, it is an additional customs duty imposed to offset injury caused by dumped imports. Q7. Is anti-dumping duty permanent? ANS, no. It is usually imposed for 5 years, unless reviewed or withdrawn earlier. Q8. On which countries can anti-dumping duty be imposed? ANS, it can be imposed on any country exporting dumped goods to India. Q9. Who can apply for anti-dumping investigation? ANS, domestic manufacturers, industry associations, who represent Indian industry. Q10. What must be proved for anti-dumping duty? ANS, dumping exists. Injury to domestic industry. Causal link between dumping and injury. Q11. Is anti-dumping duty product specific? ANS, yes. It applies only to specific goods and specific countries. Q12. Can anti-dumping duty exceed customs duty? ANS, yes. It is imposed in addition to basic customs duty. Q13. Is anti-dumping duty applicable to all importers? ANS, yes, for the notified goods, regardless of importer. Q14. Can anti-dumping duty be challenged? ANS, yes. It can be challenged before CESTAT and higher courts. Q15. Which international body allows anti-dumping measures? ANS, anti-dumping measures are permitted under World Trade Organization, WTO, rules. Q16. What is the objective of anti-dumping duty? ANS, protect domestic industry, ensure fair trade, prevent market distortion. Q17. Is anti-dumping duty a protectionist tax? ANS, no. It is a trade remedial measure, not a general protection tax. Safeguard duty rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are safeguard duty rules? ANS, safeguard duty rules allow the government to impose temporary duty to protect domestic industry from a sudden surge in imports. Q2. What is safeguard duty? ANS, Safeguard duty is an additional customs duty imposed to prevent serious injury to Indian industry due to increased imports. Q3. Under which law is safeguard duty imposed? Ans. Safeguard duty is imposed under Section 8B of the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Q4. Who conducts safeguard investigations in India? Ans. Investigations are conducted by Directorate General of Trade Remedies, DGTR. Q5. Who imposes safeguard duty? Ans. The central government imposes safeguard duty based on DGTR's recommendation. Q6. What is the main purpose of safeguard duty? Ans. Protect domestic industry. Prevent serious injury. Allow time for industry adjustment. Q7. Is dumping required to impose safeguard duty? Ans. No. Dumping is not required. Only a surge in imports causing injury is needed. Q8. Is safeguard duty country-specific? Ans. No. It is generally non-discriminatory and applies to imports from all countries. Q9. What kind of injury must be shown? Ans. There must be serious injury or threat of serious injury to domestic industry. Q10. Who can apply for safeguard investigation? Ans. Domestic producers. Industry associations. Representing Indian industry. Q11. What is the maximum duration of safeguard duty? Ans. Normally up to 4 years, extendable to 10 years including extensions. Q12. Can provisional safeguard duty be imposed? Ans. Yes. Provisional safeguard duty can be imposed in critical circumstances. Q13. Is safeguard duty applicable to developing countries? Ans. Imports from developing countries may be exempted if their share is below the prescribed limit. Q14. Can safeguard duty be in the form of quota? Ans. Yes. It can be imposed as duty, tariff rate quota. Quantitative restriction. Q15. Can safeguard duty be challenged? Ans. Yes. It can be challenged before CESTAT and higher courts. Q16. Is safeguard duty allowed under international law? Ans. Yes. Safeguard measures are permitted under World Trade Organization, WTO, agreements. Q17. Difference between anti-dumping and safeguard duty? Ans. Anti-dumping, unfair pricing, dumping. Safeguard, sudden import surge, no unfair trade required. IGST Bata compensation cess on imports, FAQs, India. Q1. What is IGST on imports? Ans. IGST, Integrated Goods and Services Tax, is a tax levied on import of goods into India, treated as interstate supply. Q2. Under which law is IGST on imports levied? Ans. IGST on imports is levied under the Integrated Goods and Services Tax Act 2017, read with the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Q3. Who collects IGST on imports? Ans. IGST on imports is collected by customs authorities at the time of clearance. Q4. Which authority administers IGST on imports? Ans. It is administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q5. What is compensation cess? Ans. Compensation cess is a levy imposed on specified luxury and sing goods to compensate states for GST revenue loss. Q6. Is compensation cess applicable on imports? Ans. Yes. Compensation cess is applicable on notified imported goods in addition to IGST. Q7. Under which law is compensation cess imposed? Ans. It is imposed under the GST Compensation to States Act 2017. Q8. On which value is IGST calculated for imports? Ans. IGST is calculated on assessable value plus basic customs duty plus any other duty, except IGST cess. Q9. Is compensation cess included in IGST value? Ans. No. Compensation cess is not included for calculating IGST. Q10. When is IGST payable on imports? Ans. IGST is payable at the time of filing bill of entry, along with customs duty. Q11. Is IGST credit available on imports? Ans. Yes. Input tax credit, ITC, of IGST paid on imports is available to registered persons. Q12. Is compensation cess credit available? Ans. Yes, but only for payment of compensation cess, not for IGST or CGST SGST. Q13. Is IGST payable on exempted imports? Ans. No. If imports are fully exempted, IGST is also exempted. Q14. Are imports under advance authorization exempt from IGST? Ans. Generally, IGST exemption is subject to conditions notified by the government. Q15. Is IGST applicable on personal baggage imports? Ans. Yes, IGST is applicable unless specifically exempted under baggage rules. Q16. Is IGST refundable on exports? Ans. Yes, IGST paid on imported inputs can be refunded through ITC mechanism upon export. Q17. Why is IGST levied on imports? Ans. To ensure tax neutrality between imported goods and domestically supplied goods. Q18. Who decides IGST and cess rates? Ans. Rates are recommended by the GST Council. Appeal Rules, FAQs, Customs Act 1962. Q1. What are appeal rules in customs? Ans. Appeal rules provide the procedure to challenge customs orders passed by adjudicating authorities. Q2. Under which law are customs appeals filed? Ans. Appeals are filed under the Customs Act 1962. Q3. Who can file an appeal under customs law? Ans. Importer, exporter, customs broker, any aggrieved person. Q4. What is the first appellate authority in customs? Ans. The first appeal lies before the Commissioner, appeals. Q5. Time limit to file appeal before Commissioner, appeals. Ans. 60 days from the date of communication of order. Further 30 days may be condoned on sufficient cause. Q6. Where's second appeal filed? Ans. Second appeal is filed before Customs, Excise and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal, CESTAT. Q7. Time limit for appeal before CESTAT? Ans. 3 months, 90 days from the date of communication of order. Q8. Is pre-deposit mandatory for filing appeal? Ans. Yes. Pre-deposit of 7.5% or 10% of duty penalty is mandatory, subject to limits. Q9. Can penalty-only orders be appealed? Ans. Yes. Any order involving duty, fine, or penalty can be appealed. Q10. Can department file an appeal? Ans. Yes. The department can also file appeal against incorrect orders. Q11. What is revision application in customs? Ans. Revision application lies before the central government for specified matters, e.g., baggage, drawback. Q12. Time limit for revision application? Ans. 3 months from the date of communication of order. Q13. Can appeal be filed electronically? Ans. Yes. Appeals can be filed electronically as notified by customs. Q14. Is personal hearing provided in appeal? Ans. Yes. The appellant has the right to be heard. Q15. What orders are not appealable? Ans. Orders of Settlement Commission. Certain administrative orders. Q16. Can High Court be approached in customs matters? Ans. Yes. Appeal can be filed before High Court on substantial question of law. Q17. When does appeal lie before Supreme Court? Ans. Appeal lies before Supreme Court in cases involving classification, valuation, or rate of duty. Q18. What is the objective of appeal rules? Ans. Ensure justice. Correct errors. Protect taxpayer rights. Q19. Is stay of recovery available during appeal? Ans. Yes. Recovery is automatically stayed to the extent of mandatory pre-deposit. Q20. What is the appeal hierarchy in customs? Ans. Adjudicating Authority Commissioner, Appeals, CESTAT High Court, Supreme Court. Adjudication Related Rules, FAQs, Customs Act, 1962. Q1. What is adjudication in customs? Ans. Adjudication is the legal process of deciding customs cases, such as demand of duty, confiscation of goods, and imposition of penalty. Q2. Under which law is customs adjudication done? Ans. Customs adjudication is done under the Customs Act, 1962. Q3. Who is an adjudicating authority? Ans. An adjudicating authority is a customs officer empowered to pass orders under the Customs Act. Q4. Who can be an adjudicating authority? Ans. Superintendent, Assistant Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Joint Commissioner, Additional Bata Principal Commissioner. Q5. What initiates adjudication proceedings? Ans. Adjudication starts with the issue of a show cause notice, SCN. Q6. What is a show cause notice? Ans. A show cause notice is a written notice asking the person to explain why action should not be taken against them. Q7. Is time limit prescribed for issuing SCN? Ans. Yes. Time limits are prescribed under Section 28 of the Customs Act for demand of duty. Q8. Is personal hearing mandatory in adjudication? Ans. Yes. Opportunity of personal hearing must be given before passing an order. Q9. Can adjudication be done without hearing? Ans. No. Passing an order without granting hearing violates principles of natural justice. Q10. What are principles of natural justice? Ans. Right to be heard. Fair and unbiased decision. Reasoned. Speaking order. Q11. What is a speaking order? Ans. A speaking order is one which clearly mentions facts, issues, reasoning, and decision. Q12. Can goods be confiscated through adjudication? Ans. Yes. Goods can be confiscated and penalty imposed through adjudication. Q13. Can adjudication impose penalty only? Ans. Yes. Penalty can be imposed even without confiscation, depending on the offense. Q14. What is summary adjudication? Ans. Summary adjudication is a quick disposal of minor cases involving small amounts. Q15. Is adjudication order appealable? Ans. Yes. Adjudication orders are appealable before appellate authorities. Q16. Which is the first appellate authority after adjudication? Ans. Commissioner, Appeals is the first appellate authority. Q17. Can adjudication be done electronically? Ans. Yes. Adjudication proceedings can be conducted electronically, faceless e-adjudication, as notified. Q18. Who issues adjudication guidelines? Ans. Guidelines are issued by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q19. What happens if adjudication order is not complied with? Ans. Recovery proceedings such as attachment, recovery of duty, fine, or penalty may be initiated. QBs. What is the objective of adjudication rules? Ans. Ensure fair decision. Protect revenue. Safeguard taxpayer rights. Maintain legal compliance. Rewards informant rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are rewards informant rules? Ans. Rewards informant rules provide monetary reward to informants and government officers who help detect smuggling, tax evasion, or customs offences. Q2. Under which law are rewards given? Ans. Rewards are given under executive instructions but are reward guidelines issued under the Customs Act, 1962 and GST laws. Q3. Which authority issues reward guidelines? Ans. Reward guidelines are issued by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q4. Who is an informant? Ans. An informant is a person who provides specific and credible information leading to detection of offence. Q5. For which cases are rewards granted? Ans. Smuggling of goods. Customs duty evasion. Prohibited but are restricted goods. Commercial frauds. GST evasion as notified. Q6. Is reward a legal right? Ans. No. Reward is discretionary, not a matter of right. Q7. At what stage is reward paid? Ans. Reward is usually paid after final adjudication and recovery of dues. Q8. Can provisional reward be given? Ans. Yes. Interim advance reward may be granted in deserving cases. Q9. What is the maximum amount of reward? Ans. Reward is generally linked to the amount of duty, fine, penalty, or value of goods, subject to prescribed ceilings. Q10. Are government officers also eligible for reward? Ans. Yes. Officers involved in detection and investigation are eligible. Q11. Is identity of informant protected? Ans. Yes. Confidentiality of informant is strictly maintained. Q12. Can reward be denied even if offence is detected? Ans. Yes. Reward may be denied if information is vague. Informant acted in bad faith. Case fails legally. Q13. Is reward payable in cases settled under settlement schemes? Ans. Generally no reward is granted if the case is settled without adjudication. Q14. Who sanctions the reward? Ans. Reward is sanctioned by the competent authority as per monetary limits. Q15. Is reward taxable? Ans. Yes. Reward amount is generally taxable as income. Q16. Can an informant appeal if reward is rejected? Ans. No. Since reward is discretionary, no appeal lies as a matter of right. Q17. What is the objective of reward informant rules? Ans. Encourage public participation. Detect smuggling evasion. Protect government revenue. Drawback rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are drawback rules? Ans. Drawback rules provide refund of customs duties paid on imported inputs used in exported goods. Q2. What is duty drawback? Ans. Duty drawback is a rebate of duties to neutralize the incidence of duties on exports. Q13. Under which law are drawback rules framed? Ans. Drawback rules are framed under the Customs Act, 1962. Q4. Which authority administers duty drawback? Ans. Duty drawback is administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q5. Who is eligible for duty drawback? Ans. Exporters of goods. Supporting manufacturers in notified cases. Q6. What duties are refunded under drawback? Ans. Basic customs duty. Additional customs duties as notified. IGST compensation cess are generally not part of drawback. Q7. What are the types of duty drawback? Ans. All industry rate, AIR. Brand rate. Q8. What is all industry rate, AIR? Ans. AIR is a prefixed rate notified by the government for common export products. Q9. What is brand rate of drawback? Ans. Brand rate is a specific rate fixed for an exporter when AIR is not available or inadequate. Q10. How is duty drawback claimed? Ans. Drawback is claimed by declaring it in the shipping bill at the time of export. Q11. Is separate application required for AIR drawback? Ans. No. AIR drawback is processed automatically based on shipping bill declaration. Q12. When is brand rate application filed? Ans. Brand rate application must be filed within prescribed time after export. Q13. Is duty drawback available if CENVAT ITC is taken? Ans. No double benefit is allowed. If ITC is availed, drawback may be restricted. Q14. Is duty drawback applicable on re-export of imported goods? Ans. Yes. Re-export drawback is allowed subject to conditions and time limits. Q15. Is duty drawback available on prohibited goods? Ans. No. Drawback is not available on prohibited or restricted goods unless permitted. Q16. What is the time limit for claiming drawback? Ans. Claim must be filed within the prescribed time under drawback rules. Q17. Can drawback be recovered later? Ans. Yes. Erroneously paid drawback can be recovered with interest. Q18. Is duty drawback taxable? Ans. Yes. Drawback amount is generally taxable income under income tax law. Q19. Can drawback be denied? Ans. Yes. If conditions are violated, export goods are misdeclared, ineligible benefit is claimed. Q20. What is the objective of drawback rules? Ans. Promote exports. Ensure competitiveness. Neutralize duty burden on exports. Warehousing rules, FAQs, India. Q1. What are warehousing rules? Ans. Warehousing rules allow imported goods to be stored without immediate payment of customs duty in a bonded warehouse. Q2. Under which law are warehousing rules governed? Ans. Warehousing is governed by the Customs Act, 1962 and warehousing regulations. Q3. What is a bonded warehouse? Ans. A bonded warehouse is a customs-approved place where goods are stored under customs control. Q4. What is the objective of warehousing? Ans. Defer payment of customs duty. Ease cash flow for importers. Facilitate trade and logistics. Q5. Who can operate a warehouse? Ans. A warehouse can be operated by a licensed warehouse keeper approved by customs. Q6. What types of warehouse are recognized? Ans. Public bonded warehouse. Private bonded warehouse. Special warehouse for notified goods. Q7. What is a public bonded warehouse? Ans. It is a warehouse where goods of multiple importers can be stored. Q8. What is a private bonded warehouse? Ans. It is a warehouse used by a single importer for their own goods. Q9. What is a special warehouse? Ans. Special warehouse are for notified goods like petroleum, chemicals, etc., requiring stricter control. Q10. What is the warehousing period? Ans. Capital goods, up to 3 years. Other goods, up to 1 year. Extendable as per law. Q11. Is interest payable on warehouse goods? Ans. Yes. Interest is payable if goods remain warehoused beyond the permitted period. Q12. Can goods be removed from warehouse? Ans. Yes. Goods can be removed for home consumption on payment of duty. Export. Transfer to another warehouse. Q13. What is ex-bond bill of entry? Ans. It is a bill of entry filed for clearance of warehouse goods for home consumption. Q14. Is manufacturing allowed in a warehouse? Ans. Yes. Manufacture and other operations are allowed under Section 65 of the Customs Act with permission. Q15. What is interest-free warehousing? Ans. Certain goods may enjoy interest-free warehousing for a specified period as notified. Q16. Can warehouse goods be sold? Ans. Yes. Ownership of warehouse goods can be transferred with customs permission. Q17. What happens if goods are not cleared on time? Ans. Goods may be auctioned and duty, interest, and charges recovered. Q18. Is warehousing available for prohibited goods? Ans. No. Prohibited goods cannot be warehoused. Q19. Who supervises warehouse? Ans. Warehouse are supervised by Customs under Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q20. What is the benefit of warehousing rules? Ans. Duty deferment. Improved working capital. Efficient supply chain management. Transshipment rules, FAQs, India. Q1. What are transshipment rules? Ans. Transshipment rules allow imported goods to be transferred from one customs station to another without payment of customs duty. Q2. What is transshipment? Ans. Transshipment means movement of goods from one conveyance or port to another for further transport. Q3. Under which law are transshipment rules governed? Ans. Transshipment is governed by the Customs Act, 1962 and transshipment regulations. Q4. What is the objective of transshipment? Ans. Facilitate smooth cargo movement. Reduce congestion at ports. Support hub and spoke logistics. Q5. Which authority regulates transshipment in India? Ans. Transshipment is regulated by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q6. Is customs duty payable at the time of transshipment? Ans. No. Customs duty is not payable at the transshipment stage. Q7. What document is required for transshipment? Ans. A transshipment permit, TP, issued by customs is required. Q8. What types of transshipment are allowed? Ans. Port to port. Port to ICD bata CFS. Air to air, sea to sea, sea to air. Q9. Who can apply for transshipment? Ans. Importer. Exporter. Shipping line bata airline. Authorized agent. Q10. Are goods examined during transshipment? Ans. Generally no examination unless there's suspicion or risk parameters. Q11. Can prohibited goods be transshipped? Ans. No. Prohibited goods are not allowed for transshipment. Q12. Is transshipment allowed for bonded cargo? Ans. Yes. Bonded cargo can be transshipped under customs supervision. Q13. What is coastal transshipment? Ans. It is movement of imported goods between Indian ports by coastal vessels. Q14. Is time limit prescribed for transshipment? Ans. Yes. Goods must reach the destination customs station within the prescribed time. Q15. What happens if goods do not reach destination? Ans. Customs duty, interest, and penalty may be recovered from the carrier or custodian. Q16. Is transshipment allowed for export goods? Ans. Yes. Export goods can also be transshipped under customs procedures. Q17. Is electronic processing available for transshipment? Ans. Yes. Transshipment is processed through customs AD system. Q18. Can transship goods be cleared directly? Ans. No. Clearance is done only at the destination customs station. Q19. What is international transshipment? Ans. It refers to foreign cargo passing through an Indian port for onward shipment to another country. QBs. What is the benefit of transshipment rules? Ans. Faster cargo movement, reduced logistics cost, efficient port operations, postal rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are postal rules in customs? Ans. Postal rules govern the import and export of goods through post offices under customs control. Q2. Under which law are postal rules framed? Ans. Postal rules are framed under the Customs Act, 1962 and Foreign Post Office, FPO, regulations. Q3. What is a foreign post office, FPO? Ans. A foreign post office is a designated post office where customs clearance of international postal articles is done. Q4. Which authority administers postal rules? Ans. Postal imports and exports are administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q5. What types of postal articles are covered? Ans. Letters, parcels, registered packets, speed post, international. Q6. Is customs duty applicable on postal imports? Ans. Yes. Customs duty is applicable on dutiable goods imported by post. Q7. How is value declared for postal imports? Ans. Value is declared by the sender in the customs declaration CN20 to CN23. Q8. Is assessment done for all postal articles? Ans. No. Only selected or dutiable articles are assessed by customs. Q9. Is personal hearing given in postal assessment? Ans. Generally no. Assessment is done based on documents and declaration, except disputed cases. Q10. Are gifts received by post exempt from duty? Ans. Gifts up to prescribed value limits are exempt, subject to conditions. Q11. Are prohibited goods allowed through post? Ans. No. Prohibited and restricted goods are not allowed through postal channel. Q12. Who collects customs duty on postal imports? Ans. Customs duty is collected by the Postal Department on behalf of customs. Q13. How is duty paid for postal articles? Ans. Duty is paid by the addressee at the time of delivery. Q14. Is export allowed through post? Ans. Yes. Goods can be exported through post subject to customs formalities. Q15. What document is used for export by post? Ans. Postal bill of export declaration form is used for export by post. Q16. Is drawback available on exports by post? Ans. Yes. Duty drawback is available, subject to conditions. Q17. Can detained postal articles be cleared later? Ans. Yes. Detained articles can be cleared after compliance and payment of duty penalty. Q18. What happens to undelivered postal articles? Ans. Undelivered articles may be returned, confiscated, or auctioned as per rules. Q19. Are postal rules different from courier rules? Ans. Yes. Postal rules apply to post office channel, while courier rules apply to authorized courier companies. QBs. What is the objective of postal rules? Ans. Facilitate small imports exports. Ensure revenue protection. Prevent misuse of postal channel. Exam tip, one-liner. Postal rules customs clearance of goods sent through post offices. Import-export rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are import-export rules? Ans. Import-export rules regulate the movement of goods into and out of India and prescribe procedures, duties, and restrictions. Q2. Under which laws are import-export governed? Ans. Customs Act, 1962. Customs Tariff Act, 1975. Foreign Trade, Development Regulation, Act, 1992. Q3. Which authority administers import-export rules? Ans. Import-export are administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q4. What is import? Ans. Import means bringing goods into India from a place outside India. Q5. What is export? Ans. Export means taking goods out of India to a place outside India. Q6. What document is required for import? Ans. Bill of entry is the mandatory document for import clearance. Q7. What document is required for export? Ans. Shipping bill is the mandatory document for export clearance. Q8. Is customs duty payable on imports? Ans. Yes. Imports are subject to customs duty, IGST, and other applicable levies. Q9. Are exports chargeable to customs duty? Ans. Generally no, unless specifically notified. Q10. What is an importer-exporter code, IEC? Ans. IEC is a mandatory registration number required to import or export goods. Q11. Who issues IEC? Ans. IEC is issued by Directorate General of Foreign Trade, DGFT. Q12. Are all goods freely importable exportable? Ans. No. Goods may be free, restricted, license required, prohibited. Q13. What is customs assessment? Ans. Assessment is the process of determining duty liability on imported or exported goods. Q14. Can goods be examined by customs? Ans. Yes. Customs may examine goods to verify declaration. Q15. What is clearance for home consumption? Ans. It means release of imported goods for use in India after payment of duty. Q16. What is export promotion scheme? Ans. Schemes like advance authorization, EPCG, drawback, RoDTEP promote exports. Q17. Is electronic filing mandatory? Ans. Yes. Import-export documents are filed through customs ADI's gate. Q18. Can import-export be done through post or courier? Ans. Yes. Imports and exports can be done via postal rules or courier rules. Q19. What happens if import-export rules are violated? Ans. Goods may be confiscated and penalty or prosecution may be initiated. Q20. What is the objective of import-export rules? Ans. Facilitate international trade. Protect domestic industry. Ensure revenue collection. Prevent illegal trade. Exam tip, one-liner. Import bring goods into India. Export take goods out of India. Duty-free shops, FAQs, India. Q1. What is a duty-free shop? Ans. A duty-free shop is a retail outlet where goods are sold without charging customs duty and GST subject to conditions. Q2. Where are duty-free shops located? Ans. Duty-free shops are located at international airports, international seaports, land border checkposts. Q3. Under which law are duty-free shops allowed? Ans. Duty-free shops are allowed under the Customs Act, 1962 and relevant customs notifications. Q4. Which authority regulates duty-free shops? Ans. Duty-free shops are regulated by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q5. Who can purchase goods from duty-free shops? Ans. International departing passengers. International arriving passengers, arrival duty-free, where permitted. Q6. Are Indian passengers allowed to shop duty-free? Ans. Yes. Indian as well as foreign passengers can purchase from duty-free shops. Q7. Is there a limit on duty-free purchases? Ans. Yes. Purchases are subject to duty-free allowance limits under baggage rules. Q8. What types of goods are sold in duty-free shops? Ans. Liquor, tobacco. Perfumes, cosmetics. Chocolate, confectionery. Watches, luxury items. Q9. Are all goods completely tax-free? Ans. Yes. Only up to the prescribed allowance. Excess goods are dutiable. Q10. Can duty-free goods be sold to domestic passengers? Ans. No. Sales are restricted to international travelers only. Q11. What is an arrival duty-free shop? Ans. It is a duty-free shop located in the arrival hall, allowing passengers to purchase after landing. Q12. Are arrival duty-free shops allowed in India? Ans. Yes. Arrival duty-free shops are permitted at notified international airports. Q13. Are duty-free shops considered bonded warehouse? Ans. Yes. Duty-free shops function as customs bonded premises. Q14. Is customs supervision required? Ans. Yes. Duty-free shops operate under customs control and supervision. Q15. Can duty-free goods be consumed inside the shop? Ans. No. Goods must be taken outside the customs area before consumption. Q16. What happens if allowance is exceeded? Ans. Excess quantity value becomes liable to customs duty and IGST. Q17. Are duty-free shop operators required to maintain records? Ans. Yes. Operators must maintain proper stock and sales records. Q18. Can duty-free goods be sold in Indian currency? Ans. Yes. Sales can be made in Indian or foreign currency as permitted. Q19. Is duty-free shop sale considered import? Ans. Yes. Goods sold from duty-free shops are treated as imports when taken into India. Q20. What is the objective of duty-free shops? Ans. Facilitate international travelers. Promote tourism. Earn foreign exchange. Provide convenience at ports. Exam tip, one-liner. Duty-free shop tax-free sale to international passengers within prescribed limits. Baggage rules, FAQs, India. Q1. What are baggage rules? Ans. Baggage rules govern import and export of personal belongings carried by passengers entering or leaving India. Q2. Under which law are baggage rules framed? Ans. Baggage rules are framed under the Customs Act, 1962. Q3. Which authority administers baggage rules? Ans. Baggage rules are administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q4. What is baggage? Ans. Baggage includes personal effects, clothing, and articles carried by a passenger for personal use. Q5. What is duty-free baggage allowance? Ans. It is the value of goods allowed to be brought without paying customs duty. Q6. What is the general duty-free allowance for passengers? Ans. 50,000 rupees, Indian resident foreign tourist, other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. 15,000 rupees, passenger from Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. Q7. Is duty-free allowance applicable to children? Ans. Yes. Children are also entitled to the same duty-free allowance as adults. Q8. Are used personal effects dutiable? Ans. No. Used personal effects are generally allowed duty-free. Q9. Are professional goods allowed duty-free? Ans. No. Professional equipment is generally dutiable unless exempted. Q10. Is alcohol allowed in baggage? Ans. Yes. Up to 2 liters of alcoholic liquor wine is allowed duty-free. Q11. Is tobacco allowed in baggage? Ans. Yes. Duty-free allowance includes 100 cigarettes or 25 cigars or 125 grams tobacco. Q12. Are gold and silver allowed in baggage? Ans. Yes. Subject to conditions, quantity limits, and payment of duty. Q13. Is foreign currency allowed? Ans. Yes. Foreign currency can be brought in, subject to FEMA regulations. Q14. Are prohibited goods allowed in baggage? Ans. No. Prohibited goods, e.g. narcotics, arms, wildlife items, are not allowed. Q15. What is green channel? Ans. Green channel is for passengers having no dutiable or prohibited goods. Q16. What is red channel? Ans. Red channel is for passengers carrying dutiable or restricted goods. Q17. Is unaccompanied baggage allowed? Ans. Yes. Unaccompanied baggage is allowed, subject to customs clearance. Q18. Can excess baggage be confiscated? Ans. Yes. Undeclared or prohibited goods may be confiscated with penalty. Q19. Is declaration of baggage mandatory? Ans. Yes. If carrying dutiable, restricted, or prohibited goods. Q20. What is the objective of baggage rules? Ans. Facilitate passengers. Prevent smuggling. Protect revenue. Ensure security. Exam tip, one-liner. Baggage rules duty-free allowance for passengers' personal goods. Crew baggage rules, FAQs, India. Q8. What are crew baggage rules? Ans. Crew baggage rules govern the import and export of baggage carried by aircraft or ship crew members while entering or leaving India. Q2. Under which law are crew baggage rules framed? Ans. Crew baggage rules are framed under the Customs Act 1962. Q3. Which authority administers crew baggage rules? Ans. Crew baggage rules are administered by Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Q4. Who is considered a crew member? Ans. A crew member is any person engaged in the operation or service of an aircraft or vessel, such as pilot, cabin crew, ship staff. Q5. What baggage is allowed duty-free for crew members? Ans. Used personal effects. Articles necessary for day-to-day use during duty. Q6. Is duty-free allowance same as normal passengers? Ans. No. Crew members do not get the normal passenger duty-free allowance, 50,000 rupees. Q7. Are new articles allowed duty-free to crew? Ans. No. New or commercial goods are generally dutiable or prohibited. Q8. Is alcohol allowed in crew baggage? Ans. Generally not allowed duty-free. Alcohol is usually restricted for crew members. Q9. Is tobacco allowed in crew baggage? Ans. Tobacco products are not normally allowed duty-free for crew members. Q10. Are gold and jewelry allowed? Ans. No. Gold, silver, and jewelry are generally not allowed in crew baggage. Q11. Can crew members bring electronic items? Ans. Used personal electronic items may be allowed, but new or multiple items are restricted. Q12. Is declaration of crew baggage required? Ans. Yes. Crew members must declare baggage as per customs instructions. Q13. What is the purpose of stricter rules for crew? Ans. To prevent misuse of frequent travel by crew for smuggling activities. Q14. Can crew members use green channel? Ans. Generally no. Crew baggage is subject to separate scrutiny. Q15. What happens if prohibited items are found? Ans. Goods may be confiscated and penalty or prosecution may be initiated. Q16. Is unaccompanied baggage allowed for crew? Ans. Generally not permitted except with special permission. Q17. Are ship crew and aircraft crew treated differently? Ans. The same principles apply, but procedures may vary slightly. Q18. Are crew baggage rules applicable to foreign crew? Ans. Yes. Both Indian and foreign crew members are governed by crew baggage rules. Q19. Can crew carry gifts? Ans. Small personal gifts may be allowed, but commercial quantity gifts are prohibited. Q20. What is the objective of crew baggage rules? Ans. Prevent smuggling. Ensure aviation maritime security. Regulate frequent cross-border movement. Exam tip, one-liner. Crew baggage only used personal effects, no normal duty-free allowance. Subscribe for regular updates and expert content. Knowledge grows when you subscribe. Subscribe to learn something new every day.